Let's get right into it. Number 10. The Hangry gene. You know that friend who turns into the Incredible Hulk when they miss lunch? The one who says, "Sorry, it's genetic, I get hangry." Sure, your blood sugar drops when you're hungry. That's just biology. But turning into a raging monster who snaps at waiters and threatens to divorce their spouse over a delayed pizza delivery? That's just learned behavior. When your blood sugar drops, your body releases stress hormones. These hormones are supposed to help you find food, not justify throwing a tantrum at Wendy's because they're out of spicy nuggets. Have you ever seen a surgeon mid-operation suddenly throw their scalpel across the room because they skipped breakfast? Or an air traffic controller screaming at planes because their lunch break got delayed? No, because these professionals have learned to manage their emotions when hungry. They don't have different genes, they just have different habits. Studies show people who claim to get hangry often start showing symptoms before their blood sugar actually drops. It's their brain saying, "Oh, it's been 4 hours since I ate, time to activate rage mode." This is called anticipatory behavior, and it's 100% learned. Next time someone blames their genes for their hangry behavior, remember their DNA isn't making them act like a rabid raccoon. That's just a bad habit they've picked up. Number 9. Being late constantly. You know that friend who says, "Sorry, I can't help it. Being late runs in my family." That's about as genetic as your uncle's habit of telling the same joke at every family dinner. Being chronically late isn't written in your DNA. It's more like a bad habit that got passed down, kind of like how your mom taught you to fold towels a certain way. Kids grow up in homes where "we're leaving in 5 minutes" means "we'll start looking for the car keys in about 20 minutes. They grow up thinking being late is just normal. They learn that when someone says "be there at 7," what they really mean is show up whenever between 7:15 and 7:45. These same people are usually perfectly on time for things they really care about. Your genetically late friend never misses a flight. It's weird how that genetic excuse vanishes when there's a $500 plane ticket on the line. Some of these folks even brag about their lateness like it's some kind of quirky personality trait. "Oh, you know me. I'm always fashionably late." No, Sarah, you're just inconsiderate of other people's time. Since it's not genetic, you can actually fix this. It's like any other bad habit, like biting your nails or scrolling through TikTok until 3 a.m. You just need to start seeing time differently. Instead of thinking, "I need 20 minutes to get there," try, "I need 20 minutes to get there, plus 10 for traffic, plus 5 for parking, plus 5 for walking from the car." But some people won't change, because being late is actually working for them. It's like they're the main character in their own movie, and everyone else is just an extra waiting around for their grand entrance. Number 8. The bad at math brain. "I'm just not a math person." Turns out that's about as scientific as saying you're just not a walking person. Scientists have found zero evidence of a math gene. What they did find is math anxiety is actually contagious. When teachers are nervous about math, their students catch that fear like it's the flu. Same goes for parents. If mom or dad keeps saying, "I was terrible at math," their kids inherit that fear, not through DNA, through dinner table conversations. Studies show that kids who think math ability is fixed do way worse than kids who think it can be improved. And here's the kicker. People who can't do math can suddenly do it just fine when it's about money. Give someone a 15% tip calculation, they freeze. Tell them there's a 15% sale at their favorite store, and suddenly they're Rain Man. Nobody's born knowing how to read. But we don't go around saying, "I'm just not a reading person." Number 7. The sweet tooth myth. So you're sitting there at midnight, demolishing your third chocolate bar, telling yourself, "It's not my fault. I inherited my mom's sweet tooth." That desperate craving for sugar isn't written in your DNA like your eye color or height. It's more like a bad habit that's been trained into you since you were a kid. Think about it. When you were little, what did you get as a reward? Candy for good grades, ice cream for behaving at the dentist, cookies for cleaning your room. Your brain basically got programmed like a puppy getting treats for doing tricks. Studies show that babies in different cultures develop completely different taste preferences. In Japan, kids actually crave things like seaweed and bitter green tea. Meanwhile, American kids are out here thinking vegetables are some kind of punishment. The craziest part is people who cut sugar from their diet for just 2 weeks actually start finding normal desserts too sweet. It's like their taste buds wake up from a sugar coma and go, "What were we thinking?" The food industry has spent billions convincing us that we're helpless slaves to our sugar cravings. It's easier to blame your genes than admit you've been trained like a circus animal to reach for that donut. So next time you're about to blame your ancestors for your candy addiction, remember they probably ate berries once a year and were perfectly happy about it. Number 6. The anger gene. You're about to flip a table and someone says, "Oh, They got their temper from their dad. Well, turns out that's about as scientific as saying you got your love for pizza from your mom's side of the family. Sure, there are genes that might make you more sensitive to stress, but that explosive anger you blame on your DNA is learned behavior. Babies aren't born knowing how to slam doors. Scientists have found that kids actually learn their anger responses by watching the adults around them. Identical twins, separated at birth and raised in different families, often show completely different anger patterns. One might be cool as a cucumber, while the other has the temper of a volcano. If anger was purely genetic, they'd both be either throwing chairs or doing yoga. And because you learned it, you can unlearn it. That means you can't blame your genes next time you lose it at the drive-thru. People who believe their anger is genetic actually have a harder time controlling it. They give themselves a free pass to flip out. But once you realize it's just a habit, like biting your nails or scrolling through your phone at 3 a.m., you can actually do something about it. Number 5, being painfully honest. You know that person who says something awful and then goes, "Sorry, I'm just genetically blunt." Yeah, that's not a thing. Being tactless isn't written in your DNA any more than being a morning person is. It's like saying you're genetically programmed to leave your shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot. These folks love to act like their mouth is some kind of uncontrollable force of nature, like their words just fall out of their face the same way rain falls from clouds. But if your boss walks in, suddenly you can control it just fine. Funny how that works. You never hear them say, "Sorry, boss, I'm just genetically programmed to tell you your presentation sucked." What they're calling honesty is actually just being lazy with other people's feelings. It's like driving without checking your mirrors and saying, "Sorry, I'm just genetically a direct driver." The truth is, tact is a skill. Just like learning to use a fork or not picking your nose in public. It's like the difference between telling someone they have spinach in their teeth and telling them their whole face is a disaster. Number 4, bad money management. You've probably heard someone say, "Being bad with money runs in my family." But your genes aren't making you buy that $7 coffee every morning. Your DNA isn't forcing you to get the newest iPhone the second it comes out. And your ancestors definitely aren't reaching through time to make you click add to cart at 3 a.m. You're just copying the money habits you saw growing up. If you watched your parents treat their credit card like a magic wand that makes stuff appear, you're probably doing the same thing now. Scientists have studied twins separated at birth to see if money management is genetic. Turns out, twins raised by different families had completely different spending habits. When your aunt says shopping addiction runs in our blood, what she really means is, we all learn to cope with stress by buying stuff we don't need. It's like a family tradition. Instead of passing down grandma's secret recipe, you're passing down her secret habit of impulse buying. The good news is bad habits can be unlearned. Your genes aren't making you broke. Your Amazon Prime membership is. And unlike your DNA, you can actually cancel that. Number 3, losing your keys. Oh, I'm just like my mom. I always lose my keys. That's not genetics. That's you playing key confetti with your stuff. You come home tired after a long day, your brain is basically running on screensaver mode, and you just release your keys into the wild. Maybe they land on the kitchen counter, or the coffee table, or that weird decorative bowl that serves no actual purpose. Sometimes they end up in places that defy logic, like the fridge, because you were putting away groceries, and your brain decided keys are food now. Your mom didn't pass down some magical key-losing gene to you. What she did pass down was the habit of not having a system. People who always lose their keys typically have one thing in common. They never put them in the same place twice. It's like playing a daily game of hide and seek, except you're both the hider and the seeker, and somehow you're still losing. The fix is stupidly simple. Pick a spot, any spot, and make it your key spot. Could be a hook by the door, a dish on your dresser, or even that one drawer that's somehow always empty, except for a single paperclip from 2007. Just pick one spot and stick to it like it's your job. Number 2, the I can't draw brain. You know that friend who looks at a pencil like it's going to bite them? Oh, I can't draw. I wasn't born with the art gene. Hate to break it to you, but there's no art gene. That's like saying you weren't born with the walking gene, so you never learned to walk. You try to draw something once, it looks like a potato, and suddenly you've diagnosed yourself with genetic artistic inability. When you first tried to write your name, it probably looked like a drunk spider crawled across the page. But nobody looked at their kindergarten handwriting and said, "Well, guess I wasn't born with the writing gene." No, you practiced. You wrote those letters over and over until they stopped looking like ancient hieroglyphics. Drawing works exactly the same way. Every naturally talented artist you know has a drawer full of terrible drawings they'd rather burn than show you. There's this guy on YouTube who drew the same face every day for a year. Day 1 looked like something from a horror movie. Day 365 could have been in a museum. People still looked at his Day 365 drawing and said, wow, you're so lucky to be born with that talent. Meanwhile, this dude literally documented every single day of practice that got him there. It's like watching someone work out at the gym for a year and then saying, wow, you're so lucky to be born with muscles. So next time you catch yourself saying, I can't draw, what you're really saying is, I'm not willing to draw badly long enough to get good at it. And hey, that's fine. But don't blame your genes for it. They've got enough problems dealing with your dad's hairline. Number 1, the can't finish anything syndrome. Look around your room right now. I bet you've got at least 3 unfinished projects staring back at you. Maybe it's that guitar you swore you'd learn to play, or that half-read book that's been collecting dust since 2019, or that gym membership card that's basically a very expensive piece of plastic. You might be thinking, well, that's just how I am. My dad was the same way. You're not genetically programmed to leave things unfinished. You're just addicted to the dopamine hit of starting new things. Remember how excited you were when you first bought that guitar, or when you downloaded that language learning app, that rush of excitement, the dreams of becoming fluent in Spanish while shredding sick guitar solos. That's pure dopamine, your brain's favorite feel-good chemical. Starting something new gives you a massive dopamine spike. Continuing that same thing doesn't give you nearly as much. Your brain is like a toddler at a toy store. Every new toy is the best thing ever for about 5 minutes. Then it's on to the next shiny object. People who can't finish anything actually have perfectly normal attention spans. They just never developed the habit of pushing through the boring middle part of any project. That part where you're not a complete beginner anymore, but you're not good enough to show off yet. That's where most people bail. And every time you bail on something, you're training your brain to expect failure. It's like having a personal trainer who encourages you to quit at the first sign of discomfort. Your DNA isn't forcing you to have 17 half-finished novels on your laptop. You don't need another hobby. You need to finish what you've already started. Your ancestors survived ice ages and saber-toothed tigers. You can definitely finish that online course you paid for. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.